I have an upcoming exam this Thursday, and this week I'm going to be mainly focused on studying and preparing my space to take the exam remotely. This is the first time I'm going to be taking an exam remotely, and I actually do have to do some preparation for the proctor to make sure that the space is meets their standards for taking the exam. So I think this week I'm just going to take you along with me as I do some last minute studying and as I prepare my room and maybe some other things that come up along the way. So I'm just about to get ready to do a study session. And of course, I've got some tea and a snack. So if you're interested in joining me for the next however long this video is, then I invite you to grab yourself a drink, a snack, maybe both, and something cozy to keep you company while we hang out and chat. Or if you have something you want to get done, you want to do some studying, you have some work to do, then by all means, let's be productive together. My tea is this Tazo Wild Orange tea. It's one of my favorite teas, and it's kind of hard to find. Sometimes I can't find it in grocery stores, so whenever I find it, I always get myself a box. Okay, and my snack is a slice of coconut cake from one of my favorite Toronto bakeries called Nova Era. This reminds me a lot of the coconut bun that you can get from Chinese bakeries, and yeah, I really love this cake. So this is going to be my treat for studying on a Sunday. I'm going to be using 3 different pens for studying. My stub nib for headings. My Pilot Custom 823 for, I don't know, subheadings. And the majority of my notes with my Platinum 3776 in a fine nib. And I've got a document ink in here. I believe it's document brown. And that's just because when it comes to my study notes, I like to have the peace of mind that my notes are water resistant in case anything were to ever happen to them. All right, so I'm just gonna begin. Oh, I also have my little Pilot parallel nib in this, I think it's called Wan Kai Moonman pen. I learned about how to configure this from Simone, and I will link her video in the description box because this is such a great way to use up ink samples. I'm having the best time, and I've been using this for like really big headings basically, but it's so great. This is one entire ink sample, and because it lays on so much ink, it actually makes the ink samples look their best. Someday I'm gonna try to learn how to actually do proper calligraphy, but that is not when I have an exam coming up in a few days. I've inked my stub nib with Bookkeeper's Brass Ferris Wheel Press. It's a shimmer ink, and I will say it is not enjoying this ink. I don't know if maybe I put too much shimmer in the fill, but it's almost illegible, and I'm tempted to clean this ink out and switch to a different one because it's not pleasant to write with. So I don't know. So far, Diamine shimmer ink did really well, but Ferris Wheel Press did not, which is a shame because I don't have a lot of shimmer inks, but the only 2 bottles of shimmer inks I do own are by Ferris Wheel Press. So that was something that I was hoping I could use in this pen, but I don't know. I'll give it a little more time. Okay, I think that is enough for Now I'm going to take a break. I'm going to finish my cake, have my tea, and then I'll get back to studying. Thanks for joining me. I wanted to pop in really quickly to show you a couple of things that I picked up yesterday. So I had a few errands to run yesterday, including picking up a few things for the office space that I'm going to be sharing with some colleagues. And I was able to squeeze in a quick pickup from someone from Facebook Marketplace who was selling a few items. And the most exciting thing is honestly this pack of Tokyo stickers. So I didn't end up getting these stickers when they came out because they were released before we were going to Japan. And I thought it would be more meaningful to get these stickers when we were actually in Tokyo, in Japan. Unfortunately, I didn't account for the fact that they were so popular that they sold out. So when I was actually in Tokyo and I visited the different travelers factories, I wasn't able to find these stickers. When I saw that this person was selling them for a fraction of the price they were originally selling for, I jumped at the chance. I mean, look how cute these are. I'm totally going to use these in my Japan journals. Oh, they're so beautiful. Traveler's Notebook or Traveler's Company definitely come out with some of my favorite stickers. And now that I'm in this mind space of just using them instead of hoarding them, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to use these. So this was the first thing that I got. The next thing I got was this Kaweco clip for the sport pens. I've been meaning to get one of these for my olive green pen. I have a gold clip that I interchange between my brass and my olive because those are both gold trimmed. And I've just been meaning to get one of these and I never got around to it. And this person was selling it for, again, a fraction of the price it would have cost if I had bought it from a retailer. So I was really excited to get that. And then I got these cute little stamps. They were about like $4 Canadian. And I think they're so cute. So I think I'll just use these for like when I'm doing when I'm sending happy mail or just in my journals. I'm trying to use my stamp pad more now that I have a little compact one. So let's see what this looks like. I really like that. And then this one is a little strawberry. Yeah, I think that is so cute. So that's my little tiny haul. And then I also picked up a few things for the office. So I went to HomeSense and I picked up a shower curtain because I have a window that I needed to cover up and add privacy. So I had an idea to use a shower curtain because they're a lot more affordable than like actual curtains. And there's a couch that's going to be covering that wall of that window wall. So I picked up a shower curtain. I picked up a couple of other, a rug type thing, textile, that I've put on the couch just to warm it up because we didn't have a choice of the color that the furniture came in, and everything is this dark gray. And I just, see, I'm not a huge fan of the dark gray. So I've just been trying to find ways to warm it up. I was hoping to find some additional decor, but everything at HomeSense was quite expensive. So I decided to hold off from buying anything more at HomeSense. And then I went to a local thrift store, and I was able to find a lamp and a lampshade for really cheap. I think I got the lampshade for the lamp base was $7.99 and the lampshade was $5.99, and I had a 50% off coupon. So all in all, the lamp and the lampshade cost me $7.89. Unfortunately, the lamp base, when I plugged it in and I tested it in the thrift store, it doesn't seem to work. I couldn't find an on and off switch, so I'm really confused as to like whether it ever worked or maybe the on and off switch broke off. But instead of putting it back, I thought that the base was cheap enough that I could potentially try getting one of those like battery operated light bulbs. I've never used one of those before, but I think that could be kind of a nice compromise, because even all of the lamps at HomeSense were like significantly more expensive. Like I always thought HomeSense was a more affordable place to buy decor, but I don't know. I guess I haven't really shopped in a while, but it was really expensive. And same with art. I saw a few really beautiful art pieces, but they were really expensive. So I think we can find more affordable ways to decorate the space. So I went and installed the curtain, and I put some of the decor down, and I also installed the monitor. So at a very basic level, the office is ready to be used, and I think over time I'd like to add some more decor. I'm thinking maybe some artificial plants just to add some life, and I would love to get a floor lamp. I'm thinking either I find that at a thrift store or maybe IKEA, to see if I can get like a affordable rice paper lamp or something like that. Now I'm going to set up my room for the exam that I'm taking tomorrow. I'll be taking the exam from home, but there will be a proctor that will be monitoring me and everyone else taking the exam at the same time. So I've never done an exam like this before where you can take it from home. And to be honest, I kind of wish I had the option to take the exam at a facility, because I'm feeling a little bit of stress about the setup. You have to have the webcam on your face, and then you have to set up another camera behind you so that the proctor can see your environment. And then you have to clear your room. So you have 3 blank walls, and I have so much stuff taped to my wall above my desk, and then I have shelves above my desk that are full of stuff. So I'm gonna clear as much as I can, and for some of the walls where it's not possible for me to clear it all out, I'm just gonna put a sheet over it. And at the end of the day, it's actually not a bad thing that I have to do this, because I've been planning on doing an office makeover anyway for quite some time, and my plan was to start it after the exam. So I think the timing is actually, it works out, because I was going to have to clear out the office and do a big declutter anyway. So I'll try to get a few clips of what that looks like, and I'll show you the final setup in case you're curious. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. Okay, I think the setup is finally done. I'll give you a tour of the room. It looks like we're moving. So I put a curtain up here to cover everything that is behind this wall, and it isn't pretty. I've got a lot of I've got my little tote, which is really disorganized, and one of my rolling cabinets behind there. And then I've got my desk here. I've got my monitor, and hopefully they'll be okay with me having water. It's supposed to be pretty clear, so I'll have to move my books. I've covered up this desk because it wasn't realistic to clean that off. The walls are all empty, and there's also a bunch of stuff hidden behind this wall as well. So I'll have to have the camera over there on my face, and I'll also have to have a second camera that is showing me at my desk. So this took a lot longer than I thought to set up. I thought about using my own phone, but in an emergency, I would like to have my phone accessible. So I used an iPad, and oh my goodness, because of this tilt, I had an iPad case, but because it makes the iPad tilt, I had to just keep piling on the books. And finally, I just used these two little IKEA stands, and I shoved something in there just to make the angle a little bit higher. But that's the view of my desk. So the proctor can watch me and my screen, and just be able to monitor me throughout the entire time. And look at how many books I had to use. It's crazy. So the exam is in less than an hour. I think I'm going to look over my notes and just take some deep breaths and hope that it goes well, because I really don't want to have to rewrite the exam. And I'm also not sure what to do about Coconut. If I close the door and leave him outside, he's going to cry the whole time because I'm home alone. But I assume he can't be here during the exam. I'm going to ask the proctor anyway, just in case Coconut is clearly not bothered by this. But just in case there's an issue, just in case they allow it, because he'll be very quiet. As long as he's near me, he's quiet. But if he's in a different room and he can't get in, he'll cry. So I'll ask. I'm not too hopeful, but I am a little hopeful. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe he'll just cry for the first bit and then he'll go to sleep. So I'll see what the proctor says. But anyway, that is my setup. That is my exam setup. All right. I'll check in after the exam is done, and hopefully I will be relieved and happy. Just kidding. I can't believe I did this, but I wanted to pop on and say that I adjusted my camera when my desk was almost at standing height. So I probably didn't need to build this little tower as high as I did, but it's done now. So I moved in Coconut's bed, and I'll be prepared to move it out if the proctor says I can't have Coconut here. And then it's actually a lot better. So now my screen is completely in view. So I'm not going to move anything at this point, but I just think it's funny that I did all that setup for the wrong setup, if that makes sense. Anyway, okay. Hello, just checking in. So I just finished, and I'm glad it's done. It was a little trickier than I expected. So one of those situations where I'm second guessing some of my decisions, but anyway, I'm glad it's done. I think I'll have to wait 6 to 8 weeks for the results, but hopefully they're done. As for the result, as for the exam, it turns out you're not allowed to have a wireless mouse or a wireless keyboard. And I do actually think that was mentioned, but I just forgot that detail in the very end. So I wasn't able to use my big screen. I had to do the exam on my laptop. So that was one thing. And apparently you're not allowed scrap paper. So that was really hard for me because I process by writing things down, and I didn't ask for accommodations for this exam because I've just never asked for accommodations, so it's not something that occurs to me. But I think if I were to do this again, or if I have to redo this exam, I might consider it, because I'm not sure if having the ability to write things down could have been an accommodation. I made the assumption that the accommodation would be to have more time to take the test, which I didn't really want. But I think it would have been really helpful if I could have used paper to process as I was going with the exam. So that's one thing that I would have liked to be different. But anyway, I am done. I'm going to take down all of the sheets that are up, and I'm going to have some lunch. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have lunch. I'm very hungry. So anyway, I'm glad that's done. Okay, that's all. I wanted to pop on one final time to let you know how the rest of my week went. And while I do that, maybe I'll try to update some of the events in my memory keeping insert so that when I fill out the rest of it, I will have a sense of what events I want to expand on more in the main section of the insert. So after my exam, I was pretty tired. I did have lunch, and then I ended up sitting in silence for about an hour, mainly just to decompress after being on for the last few hours. By the way, I have another chocolate Ovaltine drink as my snack for our final chat today. Okay, so let me just open this up and catch you up. Okay, so yeah, so last I left you, last time I spoke with you, it was Thursday. And yeah, after the exam, I took about an hour to sit on my own and decompress in silence. It was actually quite relaxing after having been like on for a few hours that day. The day before, I had made a turkey chili in the slow cooker, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorite comfort meals because it doesn't take a lot of effort, and I love that you can prepare it in the morning and then have a really delicious, comforting meal at the end of the day. So I cooked that on Wednesday, and we ate that Wednesday for dinner and then Thursday for dinner, so I didn't have to worry about cooking. And then on Friday, I took the day off work and I decided to be social because I haven't really spent a lot of time with my friends and family in a while. I think just between kind of being not doing so well with the skin things and not really wanting to leave my home, and then wanting to study for this exam and just general work stuff. I haven't really been the most social. So I met a friend at a restaurant called Planta. It's a vegan restaurant. And we split the Bang Bang broccoli, which is this deep fried broccoli that has a sweet chili and a peanut sauce. It is so good. Probably terrible for you, but very delicious. And then as my main, I had their Chinese chicken salad, and it was so delicious. I actually ended up adding some of the ingredients in the salad to our grocery list this week so that I could see if I could recreate something similar at home, because now that it's warming up outside, I'm craving more like salads for lunch. So I might try to recreate that next week. And then I headed out to a different part of Toronto to run a few errands. And then I ended up meeting my sister at her work, and we did some work together. Like, I guess, body doubling, if anything. Unofficial body doubling where I was able to get some work done, and so was she. And then we went out for dinner to a restaurant called Locum. I think it's called Locum or Locum Eats. It's a Turkish restaurant, and we ended up splitting two mains. One was kofte. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's this spiced meatball dish, and it came with this delicious like buttery rice. We're not really sure what was in it, but it was delicious, and like a cucumber and white bean salad on the side. And then the other dish we split was called Monty beef, and they were saying it was like Turkish dumplings, and it kind of tasted like tortellini, but with spiced beef in as the filling, and then it had this kind of creamy sauce with I guess some Turkish spice. It was delicious. It was very creamy, and it was definitely not the kind of meal that I could eat on my own. I'm glad we were splitting it. And they also gave us some free bread to start, which was also delicious. So, really happy with both of those meals. It was really good company, and it was really nice to let my hair down and just enjoy being with some of my loved ones. So, yeah, after that, I brought back some treats to share with my partner. I got a blondie and a cherry turnover, and we sampled the turnover. It was huge, so we have some left over for today. And we split the blondie, and then shortly after that, we called it a night. That is all from me for this video. If you're still here, thank you so much for spending this time with me throughout this week. And let me know how your week went. Any interesting stationery items that have come into your life? How are things going in your planners and journals? And how are things going in general with you? I know it is a really strange time in the world right now, and it can be challenging to find moments of joy when it feels like, in some ways, things are just chaotic and unpredictable and stressful. So I hope that you were able to do something kind for yourself, and I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye.